Hi, nice to see you again. We are living in an exciting world, right in the middle of a big historical change. Yeah, so a lot of things happening. So this time I'm going to talk about what is going on in Middle East, particularly in Israel, and also, of course, what has it to do with China. And also I will mention something about Falun Gong. Before I continue, please check your subscription, that it is still valid. Check that you have clicked your little bell next to the subscription, meaning you will get automatically notification when a new episode came out from our side, because too many viewers telling me that this is not working sometime, or work for a few weeks and then they stop telling you my new episode has come out. And of course, if you like my talking, then click like. Yeah, Israel. I talk about Israel. One thing is because you guys may know that recently the terrorist organization Hamas, which believed to be supported by Iran, has been firing over thousands rockets, small rockets, to Israel, and killing people, damaging buildings, and so on. And Israel has made a counterattack, flowing with a jet fighter into Gaza and bomb some area where they claim the terrorist leaders are there. So, and this is one of the most violent military conflict for many years. And I talk about that because that is a big military conflict. I talk about that also because one of our viewers wished me to talk about that, to talk about Israel. So I will spend a couple of minutes about that. Now, the conflict between Israel and Palestinian country and also some other Arab country, that has been going on for decades. We all know it. I think since I was born, because Israel is more or less as old as me. So poor Israel has not many peaceful years. And but here interesting is to see the role CCP, Chinese Communist Party, has been playing. What the CCP has been doing is they never show a clear stand, actually. Politically, they mostly stand on the side of Palestinian and Arab, and they show that they support the Islamic country and the Muslim. Meanwhile, in the same time, they persecute their own Muslim in Xinjiang, and kill them. You see, this is CCP, because all these Arab countries, they are oil country, rich in oil. China need a lot of oil, so better keep a good relationship with them. But the Muslim in Xinjiang, in their eyes, is useless because they are poor people. They are not oil sheikhs. Then they kill them. So this is Communist Party. The only principle is the end justifies the means. That means if anything that serves their purpose to be stronger, to get more power, they go for it. So with Israel, politically, they don't really say that Israel is right and Palestine is wrong. No, they don't talk. They don't criticize Israel that much, almost nothing. But they prefer to do a lot of business with Israel. Maybe because in Israel there are a lot of, so to say, people who are keen in doing business, who are eager to make money. And the Chinese Communist Party is very good in utilizing people's attachment, I can say, or people's weakness. So for example, can you guys imagine that since 2015, the harbor of Haifa is the most important harbor of Israel. I have been there many times because when for some, say 20 years ago, I work a lot with energy project, and Haifa is the headquarter of Israel electric company is in Haifa. So I visited Haifa several times. And the sad story is, since 2015, you know who is running the harbor of Haifa? Shanghai International Harbor Management Company, a Chinese company. They have leased Haifa for 25 years, so they are the one who control this harbor. It's incredible. Yeah? And I understand that this harbor is owned privately, and they are actually thinking even to sell it off to someone. And already last year, but Donald Trump is encouraging American company to buy it, not because he thinks the harbor is so good, but because they want to keep the Chinese out. Yeah. So, but I think that deal is not clear yet. Anyway, so Chinese, I would say Chinese finger is everywhere. Yeah, they're one Belt, one Road, and so on. And Israel is no exception. But my advice to Israel is, again, don't just think about economic winning, economic gain. Think about your national security. So, and that moves us to what is happening now in the world. Yeah, one thing I have to remind you guys: for more than a year ago, I claim, although many countries look like they are unreasonably friendly and cooperative to the Communist Party of China, but this is changing. I said it already that, like a private person, you are eager to get money, so you cooperate with some person or some organization or some company. But one day when you discover this person, this company, actually is mafia, actually they are dangerous to me, then suddenly you are standing in front of a choice between money or life, money or death. And I think people would choose to survive, to life instead of money. And the world is moving in this direction. I mean, very obvious is Europe. For, say, 5 years ago, every government in Europe talk about cooperating with China, fantastic Chinese market, we should get a piece of it, all this. Yeah, we should not upset the Chinese, we should not make them to lose face, we have to keep all this. I've been talking for 2 decades, but now it's over. You guys know that for a week ago, the G7 signed a common statement condemning China human rights abuses, condemning China aggression in the world, and declared that they will work together to fight against it. That's a big change, a huge change. Now, in this huge change, there's one thing that we should mention, and you guys should be aware of it, and that is the Joe Biden administration continue to condemn the Chinese Communist Party's atrocity. The only difference is Donald Trump condemned, but in the same time he also showed action. In Joe Biden administration, they condemn, but less action, okay? I hope they will learn also more. Dealing with China, dealing with CCP is a question of survival, an existential question, not question of how much interest we win, how much we lose. But one really good thing is Secretary of State Blinken surprised the world by announcing again a list of officials around the world who has been committing serious human rights abuses, human atrocity. And one of them is a Chinese official who personally, directly involved in the persecution of Falun Gong. And this is good.
Today, I'm announcing the designation of Yu Wei, former office director of the so-called Central Leading Group Preventing and Dealing with Heretical Religions of Chengdu, for his involvement in gross violations of human rights namely the arbitrary detention of Falun Gong practitioners.
Falun Gong, is a meditation school in China. Started to spread in China in 1992, and it became extremely popular. 1999, it was about estimated to 100 million Chinese practice that. This was too much for the Communist Party. They banned it, and they started a terrible, brutal and cruel persecution, including organ harvesting. That means killing Falun Gong practitioners for their organs. That has been going on for 20 years. Unfortunately, in these last 20 years, the media coverage of that is extremely limited compared to the coverage of, for example, what is ongoing in Xinjiang with the Uyghurs. Yeah? That is much more coverage. I don't know why. For me, both are serious. Both are very serious human rights abuses. But anyway, we always welcome progress. So for me, it's a significant progress that the Secretary of State of America, again, sanctioned a Chinese official because of his involvement in persecuting Falun Gong. This is not the first time, but first time for the Joe Biden administration. Pompeo did it also last December, even stronger. So anyway, I think it is really a positive thing, I have to say. But with the Joe Biden administration, in my opinion, I need to watch what he's doing in action. He's now basically saying the same thing, continuing the same policy as Donald Trump, but in action is much reduced. He also wants to strengthen the American military forces in Indian Pacific Ocean, Indian Pacific region, but the number of dollars he's spending is only maybe 1/5 of what Donald Trump wanted to spend. So the talking is the same, but the action is not. He talked also against human rights violation in China, but in the same time, he returned to Paris Agreement, and this agreement is so favorable for the Chinese Communist Party. We can talk about it next time. We don't have time now. The whole agreement is a win, it's a gain for Chinese Communist Party, and it's a big cost for America and other countries. So that's why Donald Trump withdrew from that treaty, and now he re-entered. And he's even considering to revive the contract or the agreement with Iran about a nuclear weapon, giving money to Iran so that they stop doing nuclear weapon. I hope they are not going to do it because Iran is behind Hamas and is bombing Israel. So anyway, so this is a world situation. We need to watch out. A lot of things may still happen. So don't forget to click like or to subscribe. And thank you for listening. See you next time.